Greetings, traveler.
All right, chat. Here we go. Got ourselves an awesome Matsuri game coming up. It'll be everybody is Marin, basically. Not quite, because there isn't everybody is Marin anomaly, but everyone's effectively Marin here, where you get 2 lesser trinkets. And we have Morchi. Morchi is just fantastic. How is Morchi doing? Morchi is top 5 heroes with 70% pick rate in the top 5%. In the top 1%, she's actually doing a bit worse, but that's okay. I guess it's because people are really abusing a lot of stuff here. Crazy. All right, so that's on HS replay. Jailer top 2 because of free triples. Yeah, Jailer got nerfed, and it was really surprising to me that it was still doing so well. But yeah, it is really nice just being able to kill off the undead for free triples. So yeah, if you have Jailer here, it'd already be very fun with the undead. That one is your premium kill target. But Jailer was nerfed where you can only use his hero power on turn 3, I think, or was it tier 2? Okay, but we're gonna go with the dragon. That's fair. It ties against Whelp, what I like. It's tier 2. Okay. All right, we get the tie here. That's nice. Pretty chill. I actually saw something really cool in one of Matsuri's recent VODs. He was watching a review that I did of him, and he watched the whole thing. It was his game where he got 1900 gold. He watched the whole thing with the commentary. It was actually very fun. I don't know how good the Japanese translation is because he's obviously using like English to Japanese, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. I definitely don't understand anything he's saying. But maybe it's a little ignorant to say, oh, well, you know. Anyways, I saw there was Japanese translation on screen, so that was at least happening. You should review to review. Yeah, that's probably a little bit too meta for me. I don't think I'm that meta. All right, probably just cycle Scout and take the 4/3 dragon. It's Morchi, so it's turn 3. It's 2 more turns until we get our time warp. So we get a time warp and a lesser trinket at the same time, which is kind of cool. You could level. I don't love leveling here. I think I like cycling Scout more. 3-on-3 on Morchi is just tough. Kind of just dying if you do. All right, there we go. Yeah, 3 units here, and you get to keep your 3/3 because your 3/3 has a reasonable chance of getting Divine Shield at some point. All right, so we keep our 8 armor. That's pretty big. I think it was actually Jeep that pointed that out to me, where we were in a certain shop and then he was just like, yeah, I mean, we can't really go 3-on-3 here because it's too, like, the hero power just doesn't support it. And I was like, oh, right. I guess there are certain heroes where you want to really try to avoid 3-on-3. And that has actually helped me quite a bit. You just save so much damage by just, this isn't an inspiring board, but it's not an empty board, you know? Like, he tied, like, this can tie, this can win. So sometimes just fine to say, hey, let me just like level 1 turn later. Looks like we're leaning towards selling the Surf and Surf for the Chef. That's a pretty standard move here. Get the level in the Chef. He might get a Rallier, which would be pretty sweet. Oh, he might also get a 1-drop. That's the nature of the Chef. Was it Matsuri that did Ravager Imp? I think that might have been Jeep, but maybe it was Matsuri. I'm not sure. I definitely saw it somewhere, which is why it was in my thought process. Even though we had somewhat low chance of winning that last game, we got a pretty comfortable at least 3rd, and then I didn't die, so we got 2nd. Okay, so here probably the undead. It's not bad. It's good tempo. On the other hand, we also have a lasso plus evolve, which is not horrible. You get 1 unit per turn, and you can hold the evolve like 2 turns for 6s. Yeah, it looks like that is what he is debating. Do I take the undead, which is more power now, but like maybe slightly less in the long run? But more power now means you're not taking damage or taking less damage, which is always nice. So yeah, he is a bit torn here. He still has to take a trinket after this. He has to go. Okay, we'll go for the long-term value here. Then has to take a trinket on the rope. Classic Matsuri. Okay, goes for the money. Pretty easy calls so far. So with this evolve, you really have to be careful because right now we don't play it very often, but this is time warp evolve, which means you have to use it. so that it can start producing an evolve per turn. Excuse me. Same thing with the lasso. You have to use it so it can start producing a lasso. So now he's getting another evolve and another lasso. And it's kind of nice because he can just double evolve a shop and then double lasso it. Which is going to give him a pretty strong board pretty quickly. Probably want a board with some 4-drops on it, right? Oh, right, he gets another one. I don't even hate the top hat here just because it gives you some money. And everything else is kind of meh. Like, Yogg is way too expensive. Because you need your money this turn to evolve, right? And to steal. And then Yogg could eat your evolves if you freeze them. It sounds horrible. Honestly, it's just like the more I talk about the Yogg, the worse it gets. Because I was thinking, well, you could just evolve and lasso and freeze, and then the Yogg can eat it. So it's like, never mind. Are we thinking about leveling and holding it for one more turn? Next turn, he's got Giga Money. He could go down to 18 here. He could level. And then next turn, it's 3 evolves and 3 lassos. That's kind of fun. Monka, Looks like he's leaning towards that, chat. This doesn't feel like he's evolving. This feels like a leveling setup. Maybe he's just thinking, I always do this anyway, but... Oh, he's using 1 lasso. He got the money. That's so sweet. Yeah, I think we're leveling. I don't think we have enough time to play our turn otherwise. Sell the ooze, end on the naga, call it a day. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Hey, first gift, very much appreciated, Halo. Welcome, everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are gonna go for the Giga Greed. I love it. Thanks for all the educational content. Congrats on 8K, Kylan. Congrats. Just a bit of support. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much, Halo. Okay, so we are taking a maximum of 10 damage, but the board is not like super awful. And that's not a good summon. So might only be taking 8 here from the 4-drop. I guess it depends a bit whether he's on tier 5 or not. No. So we're taking 9. Basically 10. Would Yogg Trinket be too good if they dropped it to 3? Maybe? I don't think so. I'm almost never even tempted to take Yogg, so probably not. But maybe at lower MMR it becomes too good. I don't know, man. Probably want to keep rolling. Oh, that seems like a lot of stars. Yeah, you probably have to evolve. It's like a Titus and the Emergent, but I'm down just blanket evolving this again. There's Moonsteel, but we're on 19. We probably want something a bit faster. I think I'd be very interested in something like a Queen's Guard here. That's like very fast, immediate buffs. 17 gold. We'll go for the Moonsteel. Okay. So basically he says he thinks that he can handle just going Moonsteel and waiting. Spell power. Oh, he's rolling. Wow. He's not evolving anymore. So he lassoed a Shaman. Man, I'm so lost here. I want to see how he navigates this because he's on the rope with 10 gold. Moon Eater? Okay, evolve. Jeez, he has to do so much in such a short amount of time. Okay, he's just trying to get Quill buffs. And then a duo to end on. He has to play the Moonsteel too. Yeah. So he thinks a long time, and I'm very sympathetic to that because I do it too. He does it worse than me though. Like I get nervous watching him, and usually it's chat telling me that I have to go faster. But he also does incredibly well. So obviously this is part of how he plays. He just really, he wants to really think through what he's doing before he starts the sequence, which also leads to him doing some really, really creative stuff. If you're always just going on your instinct and you're immediately playing, then you're less likely... Ooh, get the turtle. Okay. Missed some gold. Well, it turned into a Drakkari, so, you know. Drakkari is actually really good here. He's got Duo on the board, too. I guess you're gonna see a Shaman for tempo. Huh. Actually, did he lose? Did he lose? Maybe he didn't lose. He's on 19, yeah. He didn't lose, okay. In my head, we lost, but he's on 19, he didn't take damage. Yeah, in my head, it was like, oh, we're losing here, but he's on 19, he didn't lose. Yeah. There's Belinda. and you do have sorry, well, there's back-to-back and you have Belinda Drakkari, but I feel like you still buy that back-to-back, but it's like taunting the shaman for more keywords. So this is something where you guys might not even know what shaman does, right? Because people play it so basically never, but you get it's basically chaga, where it puts gems on your whole board, and for every keyword it repeats that. So taunt, it starts with Wind Fury, so it already has that. There's Reborn over there, so that would be another keyword. And then there's a shield, which you can also give it with a gem. We're about to get our greater trinket as well, so it's not a bad moment to really look at our board and say, what do we want to sell here to no longer signal that. I'm thinking that's 711 dragon, right? And then you have 2 mechs, 2 Quilboar. Keeps the dragon and sells the Belinda. Maybe wants the signal menagerie or something? I'm not sure. Kind of interesting that he's selling the Belinda over a 711 shield, but then again, it's a shield that's getting a non, negligible amount of gems here. Wow, that's a lot of cards in the hand all of a sudden. Drakkari doing a lot of good work here. Whew. You always want to make the shaman work because the new card seems fun, but it's too slow generally. Yeah, well, he has a setup for it here. He played some gem buffs, has a Drakkari, and just duoed it, so it's gonna have Golden Shaman with some keywords and some gem buffs, and a Drakkari, of course. What region is this? He plays on the Asia Pacific region. Matsuri is Japanese. I feel like we got a reasonable matchup here. I don't think this was an unbeatable board we had, so getting the keeping our damage cap here is going to go a long way. Just needs to find a way to buff gems now, right? Drakkari is in more end of turn, which is kind of fun. Yeah, he just slams that. Seems good. I don't know what this Moonsteel is all about. Don't know if we're even going to keep it that much. Yeah, the gem stealer Quilboar isn't quite necessary. He just needs gem buffs, but that's, man, it's so tough to just go into Quilboar and not have gem buffs. Fine Speaker is still in, right? Yeah. Fine Speaker is damage. Moonsteel for free triple. Yeah. Probably keep it for a while. Okay. Finds another shaman. Okay. Probably just buff the Moonsteel with the Moonsteel. You can sell the magnetic if you think you're just not keeping the Moonsteel, then it's +1 gold. More Moonsteel. Man, it seems like just such a tricky spot to navigate. There is a Jazzer, yeah, he's just buying Jazzer. He needs to roll like a bunch of foodies, but this is tough, man. Taunt for your shaman, yeah. It's good that he actually spots that. I would probably not. He has shields. No, he has Reborn. But the other shaman will also have Reborn. Yeah. So shield Reborn. I mean, it's a lot of gems. And he keeps Duo and Drakkari, which is great. He's going to keep that other taunt spell for future shamans, I'm guessing. Are you playing on the Chinese language? What happened? We are watching Matsuri, who's a Japanese player. This is why there's Japanese on screen. I mean, that's a lot of procs. Jeez, whoa, this board is way bigger than I thought it would be. Oh my god. Well, I guess there's Reborn, Wind Fury, Taunt, Golden Shaman, Drakkari. Wait, but this guy is going Taragosa meme, so we lose. Damn. We got memed, chats. Memed. Taragosa memer. Want to buy armor and gem buffs. Time to level? Question mark? Not sure. Probably. Golden Drakkari is also nice. He can duo the shaman for 2 more shamans here. Okay. Does not want to buff the Moonsteel with the Moonsteel triples. Just needs it for more gold. He probably can't play double Moonsteel because his duo is going to put cards in his hand, right? And so is his Reborn thing. Ooh, Piper with Reborn? Not looking at Piper with Reborn, but he is fighting the Ghost, so because the Shaman will buff end of turn, the Piper probably doesn't die. That's Divine Shields. We probably don't want 2 of it. So stays on tier 5. I wonder if he was just like rolling it down for foodie or so. Probably still Golden Touch. The left one is a gold. I don't think you care about back-to-back. But Golden Touch can give you a triple into another Shaman, right? You can end on putting another glow skill in his hand here. It's not glorious, but... Or he could just cycle Golden Touch now. Sell the Matriarch and the Shiny Ring guy. Very tricky and weird spot to navigate. Going for the Golden Drakkari here makes sense. Instead of more Shamans. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, gonna just sit on the glow scale for more shields. He throws the card out of his hand because he's getting a lot of cards in the hand here. So just using the Golden Touch before. I haven't done the math. How many are we getting? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just magnetics. Yeah. Yeah, he actually doesn't even get his gems. Yeah. But he still has a taunt in the hand for the next Shaman. Yeah, I'm pretty safe to say Piper wouldn't have died here, so... That just looked good, but it was never happening. Especially because there's a lot of HP there. You duo both Shamans here. Duo... Oh, it's a regular duo, right? It's not a golden one. So it's only targeting one side. Drakkari, I think, makes more sense because you have... If you have multiple Shamans, just goldening your Drakkari makes those Shamans quite a bit better. Okay, the Moonsteel is now big enough to not be ignored. The Moonsteel's like, yay, I'm a real strategy now. Is there a way to get more keywords on Shaman except Wind Fury, Divine Shield, Reborn, Taunts? Yeah, realistically, no, I don't think so. I think those are the 4 keywords you're running. I mean, compared to a lot of stuff we're doing in Anomaly meta, this is not, like, crazy good. But I can see the potential. Because if he had a lot of gem buffs, we would be doing a very different... We would be having a very different conversation here. Okay. Vine Speaker. That's not Vine Speaker. Probably just money. Money, money, money. Still stays on tier 5. I guess he is just rolling for foodie. Okay, found one. Man, I never thought this would be a line you could take. Then he's rolling rodeos for I don't know what. Golden touches to discover 6 drops or so. Maybe scope for discovering foodie. Bran too, honestly. I would play Bran here. Like, your gem buffs matter so much. In other news, Shady wants to buy Bran. Okay. Oh, gets the foodie too. Kind of rewarded for not playing Bran. Hated when that happens. Okay, he gets double Divine Shield here to end on. That's cool. Oh, yeah, he's cycled some foodies. He's cycled some jazzers. Again, it's just so foreign to me. Because in my mind, Quills are just completely off limits if you don't have gem buffs. And he played 0 Pipers. He's just cycled some foodies and some jazzers. Right? So it feels very, very off. He's also just got this Moonsteel, which is now just big enough to just stay, which is funny. He's like, well, you know, I have a Golden Drakkari. I guess I'll just Moonsteel for a little bit. Right. I mean, pretty safe win here. The opponent is playing Strafer. That's just not right. I don't know. I've seen some Strafer builds sometimes, but just doesn't. It kind of just goes against the essence of playing Undead. I feel like Undead is just about getting lots of very high attack, low HP things. I mean, maybe you go Overflow, sure, but Strafer just feels like it's just never enough. Hello, Xanax. All right. Yeah, he gets a bit more damage on this Moonsteel Vine. That doesn't really work anymore. He's kept his duo the whole game, which is super fun to see. We're selling a glow scale, maybe. Just roll on tier 5 for more foodie. That's the game plan. Oh, he's checking the opponent. He's like, oh, undead maybe on a Sindori. Strafer with Dragon and Titus can go insane. What are we talking? What numbers are we talking here? He's still just buying Jazzers without Bran on tier 5, which is very just cool to see. It's like, sure, good enough, I guess. Let's put another glow scale in your hand for shield later. He's just salvaging this game beautifully. This is not a game you would normally say like, oh, he's gonna be destroying. But the fact that he's gonna go for the damage. Oh, he has health. That's a good way to get damage. Right. Plunk, plunk. Okay. And then he puts the duo in front of the Moonsteel, which is quite important. And now he's finally getting lots of shamans. He's have to wait a long time because he golden his Drakkari first. Huh. Yeah, look at that. Plunk, plunk, plunk. 4 shamans. Hell yeah. I don't think I've seen this one time, this meta. I'm sure it has happened. I'm sure people have played it, but maybe I've seen it, but it just didn't register. I don't remember seeing it, I'll put it that way. Which means if it happened, it didn't happen a lot. Shaman very, very, very underplayed. Probably for a good reason, but Matsuri making it work here. And just blowing my mind with just saying on tier 5 and saying, hey, I'm just gonna cycle Jazzers without a Bran and cycle Foodie, and that's gonna be it. So this makes me think, if you actually have a proper scaling game where you've scaled your gems, maybe the Shaman is viable, because these numbers are not completely unplayable for having basically no gem buffs, right? So imagine the gem buffs being 10 times larger, which is not that hard to do if you have a Rylak game or something. You have a Titus and a Rylak. Because normally what you would do is you would just play Gem Smuggler when you have Titus Rylak. But without the Gem Smuggler, this might be a good alternative. But it's sort of hard because you'd have to also get the duo on board. You'd have to get the Drakkari. That kind of goes against the Rylak setup because you want Bran for that. Hey Ragnarok, what's up, man? What would be your plan against the Taragosa guy? Play 2 Leroys and call it a day. Oh, looks like that's what Matsuri wants to do. It's a pretty standard game plan, honestly. It's why I say the Taragosa play is a bit of a meme. Now, that doesn't mean you can't win with it, but at some point you have to stop your scaling and you need to add more units than just Taragosa. So that's usually how it goes. You gotta just say at some point, hey, basically now, this would be a good time for the Rakanishu to just fill his board, because then there's a reasonable chance the Leroy does not run into your guy. Oh my god, the cycling. Are we selling Moonsteel here? Or are we just holding a Shaman? Oh, we're just holding a Shaman. Okay. Yeah, you can just roll the triple, that's true. Leroy is going to get quite a bit of health here, though. So, you need to have a... Actually, this is pretty tough for the Taragosa guy. Because the Leroy is very, very likely now to not die to garbage. Yeah, it is actually a really clean board to add the Leroy to. Because the gems will buff anything, right? We have a 700 health Leroy. That's going to survive quite a bit. Yeah, look. He's memeing so hard. He should be dead here every time, right? Well, that's not true. The Leroy's last. He could technically kill everything else. It's actually probably not even that unlikely because everything is attacking here, right? Yeah. Yeah. So as long as the Taragosa doesn't go right, yeah, okay. Wait, he can still die. He can still die. Nope. Okay. So we just add another Leroy and call it a day. Because I don't think the Taragosa guy can actually play enough units that are capable of killing the Leroy other than scam. So his best bet for the Taragosa player is to get as much scam as possible, put it on the board, and then just hope that your scam kills the other scam. Yeah, this board is starting to look really like presentable, which is so weird, right? Because like we're talking Quilboar. It's not like Quilboar are completely unplayable, but you basically never see them, right? Which which means they're not good right now. But this amount of gems that are being played is very, very high. I guess it's just Chalga used to be a thing, and Shaman is just Chalga but like 4 times better or something, right? Because if you have Taunt, Reborn, Wind Fury, Divine Shield, it's basically 4 times better than a Chalga. It's times 5, right? Instead of times 1. Because you have your 1 from your regular, and then another from your Taunt, your Wind Fury, your Reborn, and your Divine Shield. So I guess 5 times better than a Chalga. Eat the Moonsteel, yeah. So you can play another Shaman. Let's go. You know you want to. Sell for the Panda. He's still on tier 5. I love it. I would have leveled so long ago. Oh, we can freeze for another Leroy. That's good. Please freeze. We need that freeze. We need that freeze. We need that freeze. Ah, maybe I just didn't see it.
No.
Yeah, sorry, bro. That's not. It's like, I know your connection is good, but the rope was gone for quite a while. Yeah, he just didn't see it. Yep. Need to put Surf on Leroy. Yeah, that also works. Second Leroy is a lot safer though, because if he does have Scam, then he needs to have 2 Scam units connect with both your Leroys. Does Belinda work with the Shaman? No, for Belinda to work, you have to target something. The Shaman is AoE buff. Belinda works on an individual gem if you play it, because you're targeting something. But the Shaman is AoE, it's not targeted. Should be able to hotkey freeze. I disagree, just because this game is a very, very large mobile base as well. So the more you add hotkeys, the more you add sort of a disadvantage for people playing on mobile. And I don't think Blizzard wants that, right? Blizzard wants people to feel good about playing on mobile, or at least as good as possible. So the more advantages you give to people that are playing on PC, the wider that chasm gets. All right, our undead bro is getting annihilated here by our army of shamans. And honestly, quite smart to go for the Ravager. I wouldn't have really thought of that, but the Ravager gives damage, which solves the stat problem here, because we have a lot of health but no damage. Is it really that popular on mobile? I mean, there's a reason why, you know, every game company is like, and we've made it for mobile too, right? There's just a lot of people on their phone just, you know, taking a crap, or they're on the train or whatever. I'm sure a lot of you guys can look at that in your own lives where you have downtime, but you're not at home and you have your phone with you. So that's, yeah, that's a huge part of the audience. You could play TFT on mobile. Yeah, is it mobile specific, or do you play against PC players as well? Don't you guys have phones? Exactly. God, that was so out of touch. There might be someone here who doesn't get that reference, who's never seen that, but when Blizzard announced Diablo Immortal, obviously the fans that were at BlizzCon, those are your diehard fans, right? Or at least, you know, they're very in tune with the games, and they're you know, you're hardcore fans. I think that's not a bad thing to say. Okay, we got another shield here. And then they announced that the newest Diablo would be mobile only. And you could just see the disappointment. And the people were just asking questions, be like, are you sure you're not going to make at least a PC version of this? And at one point, the presenting, I guess it was a dev, I'm not sure, just said like, wait, don't you guys have phones? And it was like so unbelievably out of, like, I'm sure he got like, what's the word? Chastise is what you do to yourself, right? But he got blasted by you know, whoever is in charge of him. He's like, you got, really, that's what you said? That's the best thing you could think of saying, right? Yeah, so all right, we are coming to the end of this game. We see that the opponent made 0 effort whatsoever. Like, we were talking about how it's important to add scam and have a full board, right? And then the opponent walks into the last fight full meme. He's like, if the Taric is big enough, it won't die to Leroy, right? So I think he might have just been memeing. Maybe he was rolling for Leroy and he didn't find it. Rolling for Spore didn't find it. And he's like, good. Let's just have fun. Let's just create big number. I'm going for my record. Whew. All right. GG's Matsuri. Awesome game. Very, very cool.